After the success of the worldwide transfer embargo that I made here on the channel, which is available to view here, I thought, let's do it again, but this time with a twist. It's tiered, meaning the top division has a much bigger transfer embargo than some of the lower divisions. Let me get into it and tell you exactly what we've done. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. And for the top division across the entire Football Manager, every division on Football Manager, I've manually gone in and given a transfer embargo. Arsenal's transfer embargo is 50 years, as is everybody else in the Premier League. Just going down, there's Chelsea, Crystal Palace, 50 years, there you go. The Championship, 30 years. League One, no transfer embargo whatsoever. So what we've done is we've done 50 years for the top division and 30 years for the second tier of the major nations, and the third tier, none at all. We've got the major 5 nations plus Scotland as well because it's a neighbouring nation to England. I thought, why not? But we also did go forward and do it a hell of a lot more in other nations as well. If we look in Sweden, for example, the Swedish Premier Division, we go to BK Häcken, transfer embargo to 2053. So the other nations that are not loaded in have got the same transfer embargo as the second tier of the ones we have loaded. Hope that all makes sense. That's all there is to say. Let's move forward. 1 year is going to do nothing. 5 years probably isn't going to do much. So we're going to go through 10 years in this first jump. And the whole experiment will be north of 100 years. The 50 years of transfer embargo plus the 50 years catch up. So strap yourselves in. It could be a very bumpy ride. And the status quo of world football will change forever. How dramatic was that? It's a silly simulation. Not even real. Let's go to 2033. So, here we are in the Premier Division then, and we're going to go through all the leagues quickly and look at past winners and just have a quick look over some of the leagues. Unfortunately, my knowledge of like Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Liga is crap. So, some of the teams that might be in there, I might not realise have come up, or I might go, oh, look at them, they're in the division. Where they come from? They might have been there at the start. Fortunately, though, my knowledge of English football is, well, it's still crap, but it is better. I do know for a fact there are teams here on this screen that you can see that are not in the Premier League currently. Barnsley, Charlton, Bristol City, Derby County, Sunderland. That's about it. So, yeah, Leeds. Yeah, Leeds. Sorry, I always think Leeds are because, you know, the Fresh Prince of West Yorkshire has got them thriving in the Premier League. More episode 6 coming, I would say soon, but I'm only about a month into the season. Been busy. That series will finish before FM25. You better believe it. The delays almost helped me. That's not that. We're not talking about FM25 in this video. We're talking about FM24 and this transfer embargo. So, who's won the leagues? Well, as you can see, it's Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Chelsea won in the last couple of seasons, and that's because I think they've probably got quite a big young squad. Of course, they've got great facilities, and they're going to keep all the facilities for a long, long time. And they're just going to invest in the facilities, aren't they, going forward? So there's the Premier Division. Go down to the Championship, and Newcastle down in the Championship. Wow, that's a fall from grace. West Ham down here. Anyone in League One? Any Premier League team in League One? Ipswich, although Ipswich aren't in the Premier League on this, they're in the Championship, aren't they? Because it's the older database. I've not got an updated database because I'm too lazy. Yeah, no one from what I can see here. League 2, we'll have a quick look. I don't think we're going to see anything though. No. Sheffield Wednesday down in League 2 though. But nothing in the Vanuatu National League either. So there you go. So Barnsley actually have come up from League 1, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, they're in League 1. So they actually have not got a transfer embargo. They've not got a lot of money. Frank Lampard's at the wheel. Bristol City do have a transfer embargo. Charlton Athletic do not. Zesh Raymond. As you can see, all the money for all these teams. Derby County, no transfer embargo. And they've got a big stadium. That is going to be a big, big help for them. Derby County, big stadium, pretty good facilities, bit of money available in the budget. I'm going to say it now. Derby County, I think, might do some good stuff in this experiment. And that's it for the Premier League in terms of transfer embargoes. So, let's go to Spain. Of course, it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. We're not even ticked over yet. I'm just gonna waffle for a minute and just dilly-dally on this screen and let you guys have a look and see if you see anyone that you don't recognise that is currently in the top division. La Coruña, Deportivo La Coruña, back from the brink, it appears. Well, they haven't got a transfer embargo. We could just do this again, couldn't we? Cordoba, Coruña, Malaga. And that's it. Just the two. Just the two sides in the Spanish First Division. And of course, he's been Real Madrid and Barcelona, who've won every single season. Jude Bellingham, the best player at 7.78. Don't know, I've gone down to the second division. We're not going to go and do that for all the divisions because I'm not very knowledgeable on them all. Bundesliga then! And we've had Bayern Munich, Dortmund and Leipzig being the winners. Bayern Munich winning, of course, the majority. You'd expect that as well. Regensburg, I do not recognise that team. And of course, there you go. Finances rich. Oh, 21 million. Oh, Regensburg. Dynamo Dresden. Yep, there you go. Let's go then. Köln. Transfer embargo. Yeah, Dynamo Dresden. No transfer embargo. Duisburg. MSV Duisburg. Anja Leipzig. Regensburg. And that's it. Lucas Podolski in charge of Wolfsburg. Of course, we all know who's in charge of Wolfsburg in real life at the moment of recording. Speaking of the big man, currently the manager of Al Ittihad, not getting the bag, £13,750. He'd been at Bayer Leverkusen for 2 years, 2028 to 2030. He got sacked. He was manager of Austria as well. He resigned to take a job in club football. Can he come back from Al Ittihad and do something in one of the leagues we've got loaded? Let's hope so. The Bundesliga then, as we've seen, there you go. Serie A. Well, look at that. AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Atalanta with 4. Did not expect Atalanta to be doing so well. Have they got a great youth academy? Well, they've got Scalvini, who's a great player. You've got Carnesecchi, who's a pretty good goalkeeper. Got quite a good bit of potential. Well, Scalvini as well is one of the best defenders on the game. Usually does get sort of picked up early doors. Now, he is the best player in the squad. You've got Brandon Soppi, Charles de la Ketelaere. He left AC Milan in real life. He's wanted. A lot of these people are wanted. Brandon Soppi, wanted by Liverpool and Arsenal. You've got transfer embargoes. What are you doing? You've got Koopmeiners, Skamaka. They've got a lot of good regens coming through as well. Martin Costa there. So, yeah, they've done all right of Atalanta. They've done very well, actually, to get 4 wins under their belt. So, let's just whip through the team. Jurgen Klopp at AC Milan. Benevento, Perugia, Spal, Triestina Calcio, 1918, and Vicenza. So there you go then. So 4 teams in Serie A have come up from Serie C and have not got a transfer embargo. And I think we're going to see in the next jump a hell of a lot more teams start to overtake, especially by 30 years, definitely. But by 20 years, it's already starting. Teams are already getting up there. Liga Uber Eats has just been PSG. It's boring. Yeah, fine. And we'll go to Scotland. Well, it's not been Rangers and Celtic. It was Rangers, then Celtic, and then the last 3 years, it's been Falkirk who have risen from the lower leagues. They have not got a transfer embargo. They've got £132 million in the bank. And those who strike first probably strike best. Because now, in my opinion, let's go and have a look through this division. Aberdeen, transfer embargo. Celtic, transfer embargo, of course. Clyde, they're okay financially. They've not got a transfer embargo. They've got £819,000 in the bank. Less than £1 million. Falkirk have £132 million in the bank. So they have really kicked on, getting that prize money, getting that Champions League money. Hamilton Academical, also up there. No transfer embargo, £1 million in the bank. Hearts, transfer embargo. Hibernian, transfer embargo. Montrose, less than 700k, no transfer embargo. Wraith, Rangers, both with transfer embargo. Harry Maguire in charge of Rangers. Ross County, transfer embargo. And the Spartans, no transfer embargo, less than 2 million. So as you can see, Falkirk are the only team to have actually done anything. Look at the season preview. Falkirk are favourites 1 to 10 to win the league, and they have got the best team in the division by a country mile. Ariel Rivera, what a player, but signed for free from Colo Colo on 80k a week, and he's fantastic. Look at that, 171, potential 180. He'll make it. 3 regens as well, all up there. That's why they're winning the league. They're doing really well. Fair play to Falkirk. Well, there you go then. That is the lay of the land at this early juncture. Shall we look at the quick look at the Champions League, shall we? Well, look at that. The past winners, Benfica have won twice. Now, they've got a transfer ban. But of course, Benfica have got some very good players at the start of this game. They've got Antonio Silva. They've got João Neves. Oh, João Neves at 161. That, isn't he 160 to 190? Or is he 150 to 180? I'm not too sure. But João Neves at 161 feels a little bit low. It's usually a bit better. Prestiani is not a bad player. Does develop sometimes. Antonio Silva, of course, is fantastic. 180. There you go. You've got a lot of good players that they've managed to, of course, keep hold of because no one wants to buy them, because no one can buy them. Not a question of not wanting to, it's a question of not being able to. And of course, we haven't got the Portuguese league loaded, but if we had, well, yeah, it'd be these teams that are doing really well, isn't it? And as you can see, Porto, we've got Alan Varela, Diogo Costa. We also, Poch is in charge. You've got a lot of good players coming through the youth academies. Portugal is always a hotbed for wonder kids that come through as well. So it's not surprising to see Benfica actually winning a couple of Champions Leagues. Maybe surprising it's this early. Still, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City, PSG also being the winners, kind of expected. But then, all these players will be going. So the next 10 years will have a huge effect going forward. I can't believe we're only 10 years in. Over 100 to go. Should we crack on? Stop waffling. Okay, so we're 20 years in now. 20 years in, and the Premier Division has taken on a completely different tone. Since we were last here, Chelsea won another couple, then Man City, then Barnsley won 5 in a row. Then Man City have still won another one. And Man City, Poch is now in charge of Man City. They've got a lot of great... Look at this. Stewie Griffiths come through the Manchester City Youth Academy and is phenomenal. They needed it. They bloody needed it. You've had some good players coming through. Barnsley then. Frank Lampard is still the manager of Barnsley. He's been here for nearly 15 years and he's won 3 Champions Leagues, 3 in a row, and 5 Premier Leagues. Again, 5 Premier Leagues in a row. Let's have a quick look at the Champions Leagues. We're going to flitter around all over the place here. Benfica again. So yeah, the only teams that are really out of the ordinary are Barnsley. Falkirk did make it to a final, so the tide is starting to change. Now, of course, we're probably not going to go through every single team at the start, as we did in the first sort of initial jump, because it's just going to be very, very, very samey. But as you can see here, so who is still in the Premier League then? So Arsenal, Aston Villa. Bolton Wanderers back up here. Charlton, Chelsea are still there. Crystal Palace, Leeds, Man City, United. Well, there's no Liverpool. There is no Liverpool. And there they are, mid-table in the Championship. Oldham Athletic, back in the Premier League. They are! It's the Oldham days once again. Come on. They're back in the Premier League. Have they got me in charge? I did it quicker. Just saying. Salford are up here. Wrexham. Welcome to Wrexham. Disney Plus. So I said Derby County were probably going to do it. Yunus Musa's in charge. They've got £100 million debt. No transfer budget. Can someone run Derby properly? Oh my God. Barnsley are £245 million in the hole. They've not even spent big. They're just spending huge amounts on wages. Lucas Stigliano, £13.25 million from Velez, who is a 194 current and potential ability player. £300,000 a week, I'm sorry, is a bargain. You're paying £500,000 a week most of the time. Aaron Verbonk, free from RZ, 325k a week, 190. Majid Sofiani, 325. They're spending a lot on wages. They're spending a hell of a lot on wages. But do you know what? Winning the league and winning the Champions League, it's not actually that much. I don't know how they're £245 million in the hole. Capacity's up. Have they recently built a new stadium? When was this built? Does it say? Year built 2043. Oh, literally. They've just built it. So that's probably why there's so much in the hole. They've just built a new bloody stadium. Fine. We've already checked in on Champions Leagues, and as I say, we've looked in the Premier League and we've seen a few teams up here and a few teams down in the Championship. Let's quickly go down into League One. Bournemouth, Brentford, and that's it for League One. League Two, because we're going to get Championship teams down here. Ipswich, Birmingham, they're down here. Stoke City, anyone in non-league? Plymouth Argyle, yeah, they've got a transfer ban. I think that's it. Blackburn Rovers in the Vanarama National League North. Former Premier League winners. Not even the Vanarama National League, the Vanarama National League North. Coventry City, Huddersfield, Preston North End, bloody hell. In the south, Swansea. Well, there you go, bloody hell. Spanish First Division then, winning is Villarreal and Barcelona and Real Madrid. Villarreal have got transfer embargo. Andre Villas-Boas in charge. Lugo, they're new. Castellon, I think are new. Yeah. Okay, Serie A. Vicenza have won the league. Most recently, it's been AC and Inter Milan, unfortunately. Benevento and Vicenza have been chasing them down, though, in the last few years, and it's starting to happen. Benevento third. Triestina as well, we saw last time there. Perugia are still there. Taranto, Padova, Spal, Brindisi, they're all up there. If you go down into Serie B, Juve have just missed out on promotion. Fiorentina are coming back up. Udinese there, Parma. But as you can see, the big team there is, of course, Juve. Other teams that are down there are Genoa. But not the biggest team. You expect them to go down. Do you know what I mean? Recycling that joke from days gone by. Back to Serie A then. Bundesliga. And it's been Bayern Munich again for basically the decade. Stuttgart did nick one. But FC Ingolstadt have won the Bundesliga in the most recent season. And yes, most of the big teams, the Leipzigs, your Bayern Munich, your Dortmund, your Leverkusens, they're all still up there. So not a lot happened. Wolfsburg aren't. Maybe needed big man Ralph in charge. Liga, Uber Eats, and it's been PSG again, won a few, but Lyon have taken over, along with Rennes and Nice. I'm very surprised at that. But I suppose they do have good youth facilities, do Lyon. I suppose all teams now have probably got really good facilities because they've probably just improved them to a certain level. Okay, PSG haven't got max facilities and they haven't got loads of money. What have they been doing with themselves? That club has been run horrifically. They've fallen away. They haven't got max facilities. They can't buy anyone. Where's the money going? Useless. We don't even have to go to the page now because the 8th league is the Scottish League, the Cinch Premiership. Bonnyrigg Rose, the best name in all of Football Manager, I probably think, for a team. Falkirk and Hamilton. It's a 2-horse race. We've created a new old firm, haven't we? Oh, Falkirk. £74 million in the bank. They're currently spending £5.75 million on wages in the Scottish League. They got Eldin Savage, who they bought for free off PSV. Oh my God, they've just got him in for free from PSV at the start of this season. Wilfried Cisse, again, free from Nice. Marcio, free from ATM. There's not a lot of transfer fees coming through. Can you believe that? 155k for Eldon Savage, 195k for Wilfried Cisse, Marcio, $500,000. Miltinho here, $500,000. Again, free. Spending big on some big players, and they've not spent a single penny on transfer fees, it seems. 14 million here. Cyril Riviere. Why have they just spent £5.5 million on this guy? 171 potential. He's 26. I mean, far be it for me to slag off Falkirk, but Jesus Christ, Maurice. What are you buying him for? I don't know. Celtic and Rangers are still up here along with that Aberdeen. Hearts are not. Hibs are. Hearts are, there you go, in the second tier. But as you can see, we did look in on the Champions League quickly, but we're back here again. Of course, Barnsley with 3 in a row. If we go down to the Europa League, anyone here not got a transfer embargo? I mean, Bolton getting to the final of the Europa League, losing to Saint-Etienne. Very impressive. Nancy winning most recently. Not loads to sort of speak of. Burton Albion from the Championship have just won the Conference League. Were they in the Premier League? Yes, they were. They just got relegated. The last season, Burton Albion got relegated, having won the Conference Leagues to get in Europa League football. Derby County get in Europa League football because they've not won they've won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Oh my God, they've won a cup double. Speaking of FA Cups, we've got a couple for Barnsley. Derby County winning the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Burton winning the Carabao Cup the season before. Wrexham have got one. But yeah, Derby County, despite all the financial woes, not as bad as Barnsley under Frank Lampard's leadership. Yunus Musa's in charge. Luke Pingo will be happy. They sacked Thomas Tuchel. I don't know. I felt like Derby would be the ones to kick on, and it's been Barnsley. They've got a new stadium now, so once they pay that off, yeah, probably kick on going forward even more. Oldham not doing too bad financially. They've got a 28,000 capacity stadium built in 2041. So let's go to 2053 then. Well, there you go. I did say it, and Derby did kick on actually as soon as we left off last time. Man City had won it previously. Derby have won 5 of the last 10. Salford with a singular win in the Premier League. Portsmouth with 2, and Bolton Wanderers with 2. And the Premier League still has some big names in there. Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Man City, Man United, and Spurs. Liverpool are down here in the Championship, and if we look at some of the Championship teams, these are about to lose their transfer embargo, so they're going to start to potentially kick on and move forward up through the leagues. Will the original Championship sides recover now they can make transfers? Possibly. Derby County then have not managed to win a Champions League. They're £113 million in debt. They've got a 50,000 capacity stadium. Pride Park has been upgraded, and the Conference League has been won by, well, Oldham back here, Duisburg, a few teams winning it. The Europa League, Pescara, Oldham, Girona, Inter Milan, Man City up in there. Derby County did, of course. And the Champions League has been won by, well, Ingolstadt, Vicenza. Bolton Wanderers got themselves a Champions League. Yunus Musa's in charge. He's obviously left Derby County. Didn't even check in on Derby's manager. It's Sergio Gil. He left. Yunus Musa left. Mikel Arteta came in. So, Premier League has taken on a different turn. Serie A is now up in second place, and Vicenza have gone on a tear. AC Milan have snuck one in the last decade, but it's been all about Vicenza. Benevento and Triestina are up there as well as the top three. Juve are back in the top flight. Inter Milan, AC Milan still there. Roma, there they are, 16th. Lazio, yeah. So some of the big teams are still there. Spanish First Division. It's all about Villarreal and Valencia in the last decade. So Real Madrid and Barcelona are, I say, falling away. They are third and fourth in this most recent season. So it's not really had that much of effect in Spain, other than Villarreal have just kicked on. Not sure how Villarreal have kicked on so well. Must have a killer youth academy. But then, I mean, isn't Barcelona's youth academy notoriously one of the best in the world? La Masia, eh? Apparently not. Bundesliga then, and Ingolstadt have been absolutely on a tear. Lewis Cook in charge, winning Champions Leagues, winning Bundesligas. He's only been there 277 days. Christian Tiffert was there for 20 years. 20 bloody years, the Tiffmeister. And he's managed to win trophy upon trophy, taking them all the way to the top. Go on, lad. Winning many Champions Leagues. And they've got a decent enough squad. Best player in the league, though, is Eric Achiampong. Eric Achiampong. He's asking to leave, wants to leave for continental football. Not surprising, he's 32 years old. He's been at Arsenal his entire career. He's in the 190s. His contract's expiring. He's on his way out of here. Javi Dominguez signed for £36.5 million from Vigo. Why they sold him, I don't know. He is 22 years old. He's going to hit his 198 potential. Perfectionist personality. Derby County have got a winner on the hands there. Liga, Uber Eats, Châteauroux, Sochaux, both winning. Lyon still up there. Rennes as well. 8th is still the Cinch Premiership, and it is still Falkirk and Hamilton. We've just got another 10 years. Just copy and paste. Of course, Falkirk's squad is not anywhere near as good as it once was. They are spending considerably less on wages as well, so they've scaled that back in a bit. The Championship teams, as of the beginning, will now lose their transfer embargo, so they will be able to make some signings. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through 20 years now to 2073 when the actual transfer embargo will be finished completely. And we'll go from there. Okay, so top of the pile at the moment is Salford. Reading have come second. Barnsley in third. Derby County down here in fifth. Leeds United up in sixth. Who is in the Premier League? Still Chelsea are still there. Man City are still there after 50 years. Tottenham have just been relegated. They might have already been relegated in the past. We will check in a moment. But in the last 20 years, well, Derby County have won quite a few. Reading, Salford and Portsmouth have been winning in the last few years. But Derby County, 16 Premier Leagues, 5 Champions Leagues as well, all in the 2050s. So they hadn't won a Champions League up to this point, but now they have. As you can see, at 4 in a row, Luke Pingu will be absolutely beside himself. Portsmouth with a few wins. Salford, Barnsley, Pescara. Absolute madness over here. They've only £10 million in the hole. They seem to have got on top of their finances, and they've got the Stephen Jones Arena built in 2061, a 68,000 capacity stadium. And let's have a look at the stadium, shall we? We've got the Gabriel, the Robert Prozinecki Arena for Portsmouth. Wow. There you go then. So there we are. Let's go and have a look at the Championship. Who's coming up? Burton, Crawley and Barrow. Everton finishing mid-table. Liverpool lower mid-table. Norwich City. Arsenal just avoiding relegation. Manchester United being relegated along with Aston Villa to League One. Down in League One, Leicester City are just coming back up as champions. Boston and Sutton also getting promoted. Not seeing any other Premier League teams in League One. What about League Two then? West Ham down here in League Two, missing out in the playoffs. Newcastle United have just been relegated out of the Football League. And in the Vanarama National League, we've got like Championship sides like Watford, Middlesbrough, Birmingham. That's it. Wolves are in the Vanarama National League North, a Premier League side down in the Vanarama National League North. I didn't know if we would get one. And the South, Millwall and Swansea down here from the Championship. That seems about it. Look at that. Poole have just finished on just 3 points, minus 107 goal difference. Bloody hell. Only scored 8 goals all season. Christ. There you go then. Serie A. AC Milan have still won one last season. They've got a transfer ban that's still in effect for another few days. I can't believe it. Vicenza, Pescara have been winning mainly, and Padova have also nicked one in the most recent season. But AC Milan holding firm brilliantly. Inter Milan mid-table. Juve are not in the division. Neither are Roma. Lazio have held on. Fiorentina getting relegated. Bundesliga then, and again, it's been FC Ingolstadt. Victoria Köln have managed to win one. Ingolstadt have won basically for the last however many years. Dortmund are still up here. Bayern Munich are still up here. Leipzig are not. All there is to say, really. Malaga have gone on a tear in Spain. Finally, someone's not winning it. It's not Barcelona and Real Madrid, although Barcelona are still third. Real Madrid are eighth. So not a lot kicking off there, really. The Spanish League has not really had that much of an overhaul. Liga, Uber Eats, well, again, Saint-Etienne, Rennes, they haven't got a transfer ban, Saint-Etienne, neither Sochaux. Olympique Lyon, their transfer embargo is about to expire, as is Rennes. But they've still been winning the league, so now they can buy players again. I'm sure they're just going to go from strength to strength. The Cinch Premiership, and, well, Hamilton did manage to win one finally, after however many years. 30, 31. And Falkirk came back and won it for another decade. And then Montrose have won the last 2 league titles. There you go. In terms of Champions Leagues, then, we have had a quick look in on this when we saw Derby County. But if we go back down, yeah, there you go. Portsmouth, Bolton, Pescara, Salford, as mentioned earlier. Barnsley again. Europa League's been won by a few teams, as has the Conference League. Seems like Barcelona winning it, though. You expect them to be doing better, but then, of course, they haven't got the transfers. So, but they will have the transfers coming forward now. That will be the case going in as we move forward back into current times where everyone can buy everyone and things will probably maybe get back to normal. We will see. It's 2073. We did go another 50 years plus, and we're going to just do that jump all in one big fell swoop and do a catch up for the second 50 years after the transfer embargo has ceased to exist. And let's see, the lay of the land, post 21-23. Okay, so Reading seems to be on a bit of a tear. Salford have done quite well. Chelsea were back in and amongst it. So in the 70s, it was Reading and Salford. Barnsley, Derby, Portsmouth. Salford have won a lot. 31 Premier League trophies. They've also won 14 Champions Leagues. More on that later. Chelsea, there was the turn of the decade. Turn of the century, should I say. 2100. They came back into their own and they've won quite a few Premier League titles as well. Also got 17 Champions Leagues to their name, so quite a few Champions Leagues have been won by them. Last few years it's been Salford, Reading and Chelsea. Reading have also got 16 Champions Leagues. Fair play to them. So let's have a look at the Premier League table then. As we can see, we've got Lincoln. Tom FM will be loving life. They've just got Champions League football, finishing 4th. Have they managed to have any success over the course of their history? They've got an FA Cup in 2105. 3 Europa Leagues, a couple of Conference Leagues, a couple of Super Cups. They've also got a Carabao Cup in 2091. Chelsea then, Arsenal, who else? Tottenham, Man United, and that's it. Oh, and Aston Villa, who have just been relegated in terms of Premier League clubs. The Championship is looking like this. Man City have just come up as champions. Everton and Brighton are there. West Ham, Wolves, Leeds getting relegated, unfortunately. And as we look over down, we're now down in League One. We're looking for Premier League clubs that have gone down to the bottom tiers of football. Fulham are down here. Apologies if I miss anyone as well. I'm trying to do it kind of concisely. So if you notice anyone that I've missed, do let me know in the comments down below. Leicester City in 8th, though, Championship side, of course. Sheffield United, actually a Premier League side, of course. Nottingham Forest as well. Swansea, Liverpool. Oh my God, Liverpool only just avoiding relegation from the Football League. Have they been relegated? No. Oh, back to back, nearly. They just come down from League One after going back up after a couple of years. So Liverpool, not doing so good. 21-33, by the way, we've come 60 years into the future. Newcastle have just come up from the Vanarama National League via the playoffs. And who else is there? No one that I can see. The Vanarama National League North then. And again, at a glance, I'm not really seeing anyone. And the South. QPR are down there from the Championship. And that feels it. Hashtag United up there as well, getting relegated, unfortunately. Well, there you go then. The Premier League is actually the second most reputable league behind Spain. Real Madrid and Barcelona, of course, are back on top. Barcelona, not so much, though. Real Madrid have just dominated. Although Barcelona did actually have a great spell in the 80s and 90s when they took back over. Real Madrid, though, have just dominated more in recent times. Valencia have won 1, 2, 3. Malaga have won a few, but it's been all about Real Madrid. Boring. Serie A. Renate have won a few. Benevento, AC Milan have now taken back over, but Renate and Benevento have been pretty good. And Catania as well, since we were last here. AC Milan, as soon as they lost their embargo, managed to go back to winning trophies. Although they were in and amongst it, winning them just beforehand as well, so that's not surprising. Juve are back up here. Inter are there. Don't see Roma or Lazio though, so they must be down in Serie B. Oh, sorry, Roma have just got relegated, finishing bottom. Oh, and Lazio are coming up via the playoffs. There you go. Do you know we're getting relegated? Sad times for them. And Bologna. The Bundesliga. Well, it's nice to see Bayern Munich are not still on top. FC Victoria Köln did very well. Dortmund came back after their embargo in the 90s. And it's been Regensburg, Ingolstadt, Munster. Yeah, just passing it around. Bayern Munich did win one in the 20s. And the current holders are Borussia Dortmund. Bayern Munich in second. Oh, winning by goal difference, actually. Stuttgart are getting relegated. Over Leipzig. They're 14th. Fine. Liga. Yeah, it's all about Lyon. They were doing very well, weren't they? Rennes and Lyon. Saint-Etienne as well. Sochaux. Not a lot has really changed since the embargo finished. Maybe Lyon and Rennes won a few more than they might have done, but they were doing pretty well anyway, to be honest. The Scottish League is now up in 6th, and Falkirk are still in and amongst it with Hamilton, with Montrose. Montrose actually have kicked on massively, winning 41 Scottish Premier Leagues. Brilliant stuff for them. Falkirk as well. They've won 55 in this 110 years. They've won every other season, basically. Half of them. Hamilton only won 7. Speaking of Conference League, we've got past winners. We've got Arsenal winning most recently. Bolton the season before that. Portsmouth, Dynamo Dresden. Lincoln City, who we saw, they'd already won one. Derby County. Chelsea. Southampton. We're just going back now. Hibernian down here. Europa Leagues. Anyone of note? I mean, is it teams coming back into it, or is it teams still winning it from having no transfer embargo? I'm not too sure what we're really looking for here at this moment in time. So the Champions Leagues we'll look at, and it's Chelsea who've won the last 2 in a row. AC Milan as well. Renate have won one. Salford, Reading, Renate again. Salford with quite a few. 14 Champions Leagues. We might have touched on that before. Benevento, really well. Really good here. They've done really well. And we're going just back to the 2070s where we were last here. Yeah, and it's just a few English teams, you know, your Derbys, your Readings, your Salfords, they've won a few trophies there. They've sort of kicked on a bit further down here as well. So the lay of the land and the status quo of football has changed forever. How has it been internationally? So in the last 100 or so years, we've had, well, England won a few, Spain, Germany, Ukraine in the 2072 tournament, Spain 3 and 4, Turkey in 2096 beating Belgium, Scotland in 21-28 beating France, and then England beating France most recently. Poland also beat Portugal. In terms of World Cups, any unusual names there? Switzerland in 2106, I guess. England, I guess, if you want to be funny. Switzerland in 2054 as well. We started off with Brazil, then France, then Spain, then England, Germany, Portugal. And Mexico in 2090, done pretty well. And that's it, really. That's it for international tournaments. And that's it for the experiment, really. I will say football has changed forever. Who's the best player in the game at the moment? Who's the best player at this moment in time in terms of current ability? A 190 is Wade Colbert for Renate. Renate? I don't know how you pronounce it. £120 million signed from Spurs. He is repping it up in Serie A. Doing pretty good. And that's it. End of this tiered transfer embargo experiment. I do love these ones. You know, I just love like the way football changes over time through transfer embargoes and all that jazz. So let me know in the comments if you've got any ideas of how we can tweak this even further and do some more videos on it, because they're always really fun. And I think, you know, we could maybe spin a wheel, but for every team it'd be a lot. I don't know. You let me know in the comments if you've got any odd ideas of how we can sort of freshen this thing up. Other than that, like the video, subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.